What's going on, guys? Jacob here from Sculpted, an unlimited done-for-you click consulting service. Today I want to talk about a huge mistake people make with their AI outbound cold emails and what to do instead. One of the most easy ways to get started with AI that actually works, it actually gets insanely high reply rates. What are you doing wrong? Why are your AI cold emails not working? So I want to show some examples of mistakes people make. This is a tool I just Google searched AI cold email tool, and I found this smartwriter.ai app. So I'm just going to show some examples of some. They're actually trying to show these off as like good examples. I am going to show them off as not as good examples, and I'm going to show you how you can improve this with Clay, and just sort of why I think this is not so good. So one of the mistakes most people make with AI is having it write the entire cold email for you and not giving it enough data or not being specific enough with what you want it to do. And the AI will end up creating a whole email for you, and it will likely hallucinate a lot of the words, and it will sound funny, and it will sound like an AI wrote it, and it will give you away. And the second a person knows that an AI wrote the email, you're done. Because, well, unless you did a really, really good and clever job, and it's so funny and clever that it's still acceptable. But generally speaking, the point of AI is to personalize the email, right? To make it look like it was handwritten. So if you ironically use AI to personalize an email that's actually not personalized, it makes you look in some ways bad, because it's like, dude, like you're supposed to be personalizing the email, but you didn't actually personalize it. You did the opposite. And even if it's maybe not obvious that AI wrote the email for you, but it just sounds clunky and generic, it doesn't really do much. It kind of defeats the purpose of the personalization. You have to really nail it with AI or with any personalization to get someone's attention and stand out in the inbox, especially considering most people are going to start using these generic AI tools. I want to show you some examples of what I'm talking about here, and then I'm going to show you what to do instead. So personalize with social activity. Saw your recent post about the unfairness behind founders imposing a no side project rule for their employees. I couldn't agree more. It's hypocritical to do so, especially when most started their own company by doing just that. This is actually not horrible. I would say this is okay. But I just want to maybe call this out. I just read an amazing recommendation you got from Daniel, commending your leadership and technical skills. Your ability to use your interpersonal skills to lead a team is crucial for being a group CEO. So it seems okay, but like, I don't know, it just feels AI-y to me. It feels kind of generic. It feels kind of irrelevant. Like, what is the point of this opening line? If I received this email, I would probably know it was written by AI, because it just does not feel like something a person would really write to me, right? Same with this. I just read your profile about your decorated 32 years of experience in the banking industry and your passion to help business owners capitalize. Your dedication to assisting leaders and founders grow their business is very commendable. So I don't know. Again, this to me just feels very like AI written and generic. And like, if I read this, I would just be turned off by it and I wouldn't want to respond. So what's the problem here? This is a very generic AI prompt, right? It's not specific enough to do a good job. And I want to show you instead a really, really good use case for AI that's not as generic. It's a bit more specific, and it makes the copy look much more handwritten and personalized. Okay. And this is how you use AI properly. This is not the only use case for AI and cold emails. There's many use cases for AI with cold outreach. Like I just did a video recently about AI automating research for you, but this is a specific way that I think you should be using AI in your email copy itself. It's not about generating an entire sentence like this necessarily, unless you have a very good prompt, or it's definitely not an entire cold email. Rather, I think a really good way to use AI in your emails is by massaging data, by taking a rough piece of data and making it a bit softer. So what do I mean by this? Let me show you some examples. I have the good fortune of working with Sendoso as one of my clients, and they essentially sell gifting as a platform. You can send personalized gifts to your prospects to build relationships with them and generate more pipeline, maybe better client relationships, etc. So one of the things we're doing is we're actually offering a local restaurant gift card. We're finding an awesome restaurant in someone's area, and we're calling out the restaurant. We're linking to the restaurant on Yelp, and we're offering a gift card to the restaurant in exchange for a meeting, essentially. And it's not just, hey, I'll give you a restaurant gift card. We're actually saying, hey, I noticed, well, actually, let me just show you the email. Hey, this shot looks like you're in the Redondo Beach area. I heard Lotus Asian Grill is an awesome spot. And if you open up this link, you can see it takes you to Lotus Asian Grill with a super high review on Yelp. With Sendoso, you can send prospects personalized gifts like gift cards to their favorite restaurant to book more meetings and close more deals. If you're interested in learning more about Sendosa, apply walk and roll for a $25 gift card to Lotus Asian Grill on me. So why is this a better use of AI in my opinion? Well, the email itself was written by me, and the only things that are AI injected are this right here, the Redondo Beach area, as well as this walk and roll, right? So how did I use AI for these things? Well, let's go look in the Clay table, and I will show you. Why is this better? It's very specific. It looks totally handwritten, right? If I were to go and pull this person's LinkedIn and show you what their LinkedIn profile says, they're not going to have the Redondo Beach area on their LinkedIn profile. They're going to have a more like structured data format for their location. For example, here's the lead that I just showed you in Instantly, right? So their location on LinkedIn is Redondo Beach, California, United States. If I open up their LinkedIn profile, I pulled that directly from LinkedIn right here. Okay. Now, what would happen in most cases if you were to just use their LinkedIn is if you wanted to like insert this as an email variable, you would have to say in your email, I saw you live in Redondo Beach, California, United States. Or maybe you can extract, you're good and you can extract Redondo Beach, right? Somehow you extract somehow you extract only the city, okay? But anyone who's in sales or marketing or really anyone in leadership who gets a lot of cold emails, eventually, especially nowadays, they'll know that like you just took that from their LinkedIn profile. It's pretty obvious that you scraped it. However, what's not obvious is this type of language, the Redondo Beach area. This looks handwritten, okay? And that little nuance is a small tweak, but that little nuance actually looks handwritten, okay? That is something that you probably would not be able to automate. Now, again, in a year or two or three, when this is mainstream and everyone's doing this, it will probably not work as well anymore, like all things. But currently in 2023, this is December 31st, actually, 2023, the last day of the year, this is crushing it. It's getting a really high response rate, okay? How did I find the grill and everything? I made a video about this. It's with Clay and the Yelp integration, so you can watch that video later on LinkedIn. But that's an example of how powerful the GPT is here. Now, how did I do that in Clay? I'll go ahead and I'll show you. Let's go to the personalize column here, the personalized view, and I will show you how this works. So essentially what we're going to do is we take their LinkedIn profile, probably from an Apollo export, and we're going to enrich them with the LinkedIn profile enrichment over here, okay? And we're going to grab all this data, including their location. So if I go to location name, it's right here, location name, boom. Now, how do I turn the location name into a general area? Well, here's what we do. So normalize location name. It's actually a relatively long prompt, but your job is to normalize a candidate's location for use in a cold email script. You'll be given a candidate location. The candidate location usually contains the city, state, and country, but inputs will be different every time. This is the candidate location, and then you pass in the location from LinkedIn. We want to normalize the text to fit in the following email script. Still in location, usually location output will be the same of the city, will be the name of the city or metropolitan area where the person lives. If you have a city or metropolitan area, return the name of the city or the metropolitan. For example, if the location is New York City, New York, return the NYC area. If the location is Austin, Texas, United States, return the Austin area, etc., etc. So I gave it a bunch of different examples. Then I gave it some output rules. Do not add any commas in your answer like Manhattan, New York. Instead, just say Manhattan. Your response should be as specific as possible. Only pick one location name to use. Prioritize the city, then the county, then the state, then the country if you have them. If it would make sense to say still living in the city area, in a sentence, return the city area as your response. If your answer ends with area, always start with the. So I'm giving it a bunch of instructions here. If you don't know the name of the city and you only have a province or state, you can say state or province. For example, Ontario or Maryland. If you only have a country name, you can return the name of the country like Venezuela or the United States. And then I said, do your best to call the location the name the same way the locals would call it. So why is this better? So you can see here, these are all the outputs of their locations and what the way it's being used in the email in that variable. Now, why is this better than a generic AI tool? Because generic AI tools don't really allow you to edit the prompt, nor do they allow you to be granular with the input data. Whereas with Clay, look, everyone's using the same AI at the end of the day. Everyone's using OpenAI or a similar variant of OpenAI. So what makes one AI tool better than the other? It comes down to the specificity with which you can use the data, how well you can engineer your prompts, and the type of inputs you can use, the granularity of the inputs you can use when you're creating your prompts, creating your GPT whatever instructions and the outputs. As you can see here, I'm able to get insanely granular with the data I'm entering in, which is their location, and the exact output I want. And you can see the outputs here are insanely consistent. And I can inject these into all of my emails. And they actually look like something a local would say, the NYC area, right? The Dallas-Fort Worth area. I might even be able to get this to say DFW if I want to be very creative. So you can see here, I'm actually taking a very simple piece of data, the location, and I'm turning it into a normalized version that actually is, it looks personal, it looks human, and it looks like something that an actual person would say. This is a simple yet powerful way to use AI in your outreach campaigns. There's actually a few other examples of this in this exact campaign, taking how long they've been working there and their title and normalizing it into like a general role, a general function. But I've already shown you one example with the location, so I'm not going to show you the second example for this specific campaign, but I do it multiple times in this campaign. Like really quickly, I took how long they worked there, and I calculated the number of years. I took their job title, and I figured out the general function of their job title. And then I created an opening line saying, congrats on a year and a half as a marketing leader, as opposed to like 4 months as a director, marketing, which is like the raw data that you would pull from LinkedIn. So essentially the bottom line of what I'm trying to say here is you can take raw data and massage it with AI to make it look like it was handwritten, and you'll differentiate yourself from everybody else. And you won't make the mistake that most people make with AI, which is letting it run rampant. I don't know, run wild, and not giving it a very good prompt, using some generic AI tool that just gives you some kind of generic, cheesy, not such a good output that is obvious and actually can raise red flags with your prospects instead of impressing them, standing out, and getting you responses in meetings. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to hire me to do your outreach for you, I run a service called Sculpted. We basically sculpt your clay tables for you. You get unlimited requests, and we will just build the tables for you on demand. It's like having an in-house expert in clay in your business, and we do it all for you. If you're interested, just go to sculpted.agency, book a meeting, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and happy to chat there as well. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.